Travel nursing can bring you to places you've never been before. Tell us your story.
Hey, hi, it's Rita at Travel Nurse Channel. It seems like forever. Let's get closer here. Ugh. Yeah, it seems like a while since I've seen everyone. I'm not centered. Is that better? Getting there. Okay, hi everybody. It's Rita at the Travel Nurse Channel. I'll show you. I gotta wash my hands right from the get-go. Okay, yeah, sanitizer. And my little granddaughter's teething and fussy, and she's going down for her nap in the next room, so I'm going to speak a little more softly. But I did want to, I do have a topic to address today, and I do want to get that computer ready in case anybody has a question or a comment. Okay, so my topic for today, oh, messy hair, okay, whatever. And that is a question for all the recruiters, everybody wanting nurses now to cover their needs. And so I thought, let's go over a couple of questions. I think I said 5 that are key. So question number 1, are you hiring? I actually know the answer to that because I see so many nurses going out on assignment right now, and so many of them are excited about the adventure. And I know you are hiring. So recruiters, this is a Travel Nurse Channel, and I know you're hiring. I know you need nurses and more nurses and RNs, and maybe you even need some LVNs. Maybe you need some CNAs. Maybe you need some techs. Maybe you need some radiology techs or respiratory techs or CT techs, MRI techs. You might need all of the above. So these questions are for you. So number 1, are you hiring? I know you are. I know you are. I'd love for you to come on and chat with me and talk about what you need, who you need, because a lot, thousands and thousands of healthcare workers are tuning into the Travel Nurse Channel, which is not just for nurses, it's for all travel healthcare workers. So the second question is, what's your biggest need? Is it RN ICU? Is it radiology tech? Is it interventional radiology? Is it the cardiac cath lab? What's your biggest need? Only you know the answer to that. I know the ICUs are still really busy. The ERs are still really busy. The hospitals in general are still busy, not just from COVID, but from a variety of things that require treatment at the hospital. So that's my second question. What's your biggest need? My third question is, how or whom do you go to recruit? How do you recruit? How do you do it? Are you using these big companies that put out these blasts for nurses and then don't get back when a nurse fills out a form? I think that we've talked about that in the past, that some of these great big companies just put out a need, and maybe they need to fill 4 positions. They're reaching 800. Once they get the 4, they're not getting to the other 796, right? So how effective is that? And what is that? What's the message to the 796 that don't get callbacks, that spend a lot of time on paperwork responding to that need? So, so how or whom do you go to recruit is a question. Maybe you go back to your archives. Maybe you are contacting people that have worked for you before. And by the time they get back to you, the needs have changed. So I just wonder how you do it and how effective is it? That's kind of a number 3 question with an A and a B. And then I'm going to ask you to describe or picture or imagine your ideal candidate. I mean, I know from having been an employer and from having been a working clinical nurse for many, many years, I did a lot more per diem, but I did counsel and direct and manage a lot of travel nurses as well as per diem. And so that's my perspective from it. That's why I'd love to talk to some of you. My glasses are cloudy. I just did a giant, I cleaned my refrigerator out this morning. It was time to get rid of the Thanksgiving leftovers. And I just did a giant shopping. I can see a little better. Didn't get a chance to clean my glasses. So let's get some of this hair out of my face. And anyway, so my 4th question is to the recruiters out there, to the hiring people, to those that need healthcare workers to travel for them, for their clients all over the country, maybe internationally. I'm focusing on this country only because it's what I know best. In your mind, in your heart of hearts desire, how picture and think about your ideal candidate. I think an ideal candidate is not necessarily somebody that traveled before, but somebody that's ready to travel. Somebody that you've had a discussion with. It's something they've been thinking about. They consider it an adventure. They consider it advantageous to their career. And they have lots of expertise. They have 2, 3, 5, 15 years of experience in what they do, whether it be MRI technology or an ICU-RN or a very skillful LVN, or maybe a nurse practitioner or a PA for an ER need that you have. So all of those are applicable. And what does that ideal candidate look like? It looks like somebody that's knowledgeable and pleasant. That's a very key thing. If they're grouchy every time you talk to them, be concerned about that, because that's going to transfer over to their patients, to the client, and reflect back on you and your company. So they are knowledgeable, they are pleasant, they're enthusiastic and eager to get on assignment. They're flexible. You know, maybe they prefer 8-hour shifts, maybe they prefer 12-hour shifts, maybe they prefer urgent care settings, maybe they prefer acute care hospitals. You have all those pieces of who they are and what you need, and maybe they're super flexible. Maybe they'll do the urgent care, maybe they will do the hospital as well, the ER as well. So all of these things are important, and you picture that ideal candidate, and that's what you go for, the ideal candidate. And then finally, number 5 is my biggest question. Have you tried sponsoring yourself, your recruiter, your company with the Travel Nurse Channel? It's so easy to do. It is going to cost you almost nothing, because when you find that ideal candidate, when you fill that need that you've been searching for, when you provide for your client what they were looking for, it's pretty priceless. And to sponsor yourself and your needs and your wants and your ideal candidate profile on the Travel Nurse Channel is, I hope I have this right, I think it's $27 a month. And you're going to reach thousands of people. You can connect easily on Facebook. So those are my 5 questions, starting off with, are you hiring, which I know you are, and ending with, have you tried Travel Nurse Channel sponsorship? Easy peasy. I'd love for you to try it. I'd also love for you to call me. So some of the candidates out there can see you as well as see you on Facebook and so forth, but could see you live. We're live here on the Travel Nurse channel. I say we. It's usually just me. I love having visitors and talking to other nurses and candidates, but lately it's been just me. So sorry about that. Yeah, I invite you anytime to call me, to email me, to you can actually, if you're watching right now, you can message me right now on Facebook and I can respond. I can maybe even bring you into the program right now. It's 2:15. I'll be on for a bit more. I'm usually here every Tuesday and Thursday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it could be that you're in the Midwest or back east or up north, but we can communicate. I've communicated with people all over the world on this wonderful venue. I use StreamYard, and I think it does pretty well. I mean, I don't have anything special here. I have my computer and my little office, and that's it. I don't have special microphones. I don't have special lighting. It's very, very easy to broadcast. I mean, I wish it were more professional. Maybe it will be more professional if I can get somebody to help me with that. But it's pretty easy peasy just using a StreamYard and my home office. It works out really, really well. So so today I thought I'd talk to the recruiters and anybody that's looking to hire a travel healthcare worker. Nurses are a huge, huge need, but there are lots and lots of other speech pathologists, hand OT specialists, very sensitive to that since I broke this wrist a couple of months ago in September and needed a hand specialist, orthopedist, and I needed a special hand specialist, occupational therapy. She was wonderful. And I'm moving my hand pretty well. I still rely a little bit on, so see, hands actually do this. They go forward, backward, and side to side. So this hand functions to me much better. I can't get this one down quite as far. It's like a Muppet that can't go all the way, but I'm still working on it. Most of the edema is gone. Most of the numbness is gone. And yeah. So yay for modern medicine. I got my hand back. That was pretty nasty injury. So recruiters, today I thought I'd talk to you very, very specifically. Travel Nurse Channel is a meeting place, a liaison for healthcare workers and primarily nurses, but all healthcare workers that do travel assignments. Because there's such a need out there, that's where I went to focus, and that's why Travel Nurse Channel. But it's travel nurses and travel therapists and travel techs, anybody involved in healthcare that does travel assignments, short, long. This is the place to come. I'd like it to be a place to check in with, you know, like your home away from home, something familiar. That's what I've been trying to build over the many months. We started off with a couple of different names. We were Gold Medical at one point, and we were another name for a short while, and then we zoned in on Travel Nurse Channel. Seemed to target what it's all about. And so today I thought I'd address, it's been a while. We were gone for Thanksgiving. And so my last video was a week ago Tuesday, which seems much longer than a week ago. But at any rate, generally here, talking live, streaming on Facebook and YouTube, and they're all archived. So you don't have time to look when we're live. You can look anytime you want, go back in the archives, check us out, and email or call. The number should be at the bottom, I think, of the screen, 800-737-6518. It's toll free. You can contact me anytime and ask questions, make comments, plan to chat with me. on the Travel Nurse channel, and or email me anytime you want, which is Rita, R-I-T-A, my name, Rita at travelnursechannel.com, and I will respond, and we can have our discussions, or I can answer questions, or I can research if I don't have an answer right away. And that's about what I have to say for today. I think that the next time I broadcast will be Thursday, December 3rd, and I will focus on the jobs that I am aware of that are happening right now and some of the rates that are out there. So hopefully that'll be good for recruiters in different places. And I think what I'll do is I will start doing that with regularity, and focus on different states. So maybe this week I'll focus on maybe Northern California, San Francisco, and parts further north. And then another day I'll focus on Texas or Florida or Chicago, or so many places, so many places throughout the states that need healthcare workers, that need nurses. And I do want to say too, in my research and in my communications with other nurses, there's some really enthusiastic nurses traveling. They are they're working very hard. They really are working very hard. That is true. And they are making their sacrifices, having to leave their loved ones behind temporarily. Most travel assignments are 13 weeks, so that's 3 months. But really enjoying it. Another goal reached in their medical career, their professional career, and then going back to it, So I see a lot of enthusiasm. I see nurses that have done it before doing it again, and newer nurses and newer techs and newer CNAs even, all giving it a try and giving it a thumbs up. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's I think journalists, kind of, if they go into that career and they think that they want to go all over the world and see where the troubles are and get a feel for different countries and what's really happening behind borders and whatnot, and spend a lot of time traveling. American journalists can spend many, many, many months of the year traveling and having those experiences, but I'm not sure newer nurses or newer techs or newer therapists go into their career thinking that they could have that kind of an exciting opportunity as well to travel. So yeah, it's very exciting. I actually thought about it a lot when I was still a student many moons ago in the 1970s, but I took a job closer to home after going through all my journals and magazines back in the day. Yeah, I took a job closer to home, and it turned out it was the start of my career. And I started it in dialysis, and I learned so much. And I went from chronic, old-fashioned. Oh, hi, Gollum. Gollum. See, it's going well, Gollum. It's going well. It was nice to chat with you online earlier today. Gollum is checking in all the way from Bangladesh, and good to see you, Gollum. And I was talking about the beginning of my career when I thought I would travel. I'd be a globetrotter. Not as a traveler. I didn't know anything about traveling back in the 1970s, way before Gollum was born. In the late 1970s, I was just looking at opportunities away from home because I'd spent so much time being a student, etc., and living with my noisy brothers, who I adore. But I really thought that I would travel and maybe work in Saudi Arabia, I was looking at so many places. I was thinking actually of countries like England or Canada where I knew the language. But I was also looking in my journals and stuff at all these opportunities in different countries. And as it turns out, my mom was raising us pretty much single-handedly, although my father was alive. We lived with my mother. I just didn't feel comfortable going that far away from home, and I thought I'd better, oh, my bracelet. Gollum, these look like bracelets. I guess they are bracelets, but you know why I wear them? Because the copper helps with my joints. It helps me have less aches and pains in my joints. Yeah, they all have some kind of copper in them. Yeah. So I didn't make that move. But then when I established my career and had my children, and they're very small, I learned about per diem nursing, and that was key for me. And I had wonderful experiences going to hospital A, B, and C, working in the ICU here, and telemetry there, and the psych unit there, and dialysis there. So my nursing career was very, very varied. And like I said, it's not something healthcare personnel from my age back in the 70s when I was becoming a nurse knew that we could have these varied experiences in so many areas, in so many places. And as my career progressed and I learned about things other than my little world, my hospital where I was working, or my unit where I was working, the possibilities for travel assignments is fantastic. It's just fantastic. And so we talk about it every week. Mostly I talk about it. Sometimes we have a guest. I will continue to look for a guest for us to talk to. And recruiters, I welcome you wholeheartedly. It would be such a plus for all the nurses and techs and therapists out there that check into the Travel Nurse channel regularly to see you, to hear you, and to have examples of what it is like from your side of healthcare. So yeah, so I think I will talk about on Thursday the jobs and the rates that are being offered. I'll focus in Northern California, I believe, San Francisco and those areas, north of Los Angeles, and then I'll pick another state and another area on another day, and just start getting the word out there about what jobs are going on, or potential jobs that may be starting later in the month or later in January 2021. So I think I'll sign off. This will be archived. You can check into this video anytime you like. This is Rita at the Travel Nurse channel. I'm a nurse, and I've been a clinical nurse for most of my career since the 1970s until quite recently. I've been a manager and a president and a consultant and all kinds of things, and it's been a wonderful career. And I've made lots and lots of contacts, and I appreciate each and every one of those contacts, from the CNAs that I know, to the doctors that I know, to the teams I know in the various units that I've worked in and have made contacts with. And it's just all over Southern California mostly. Still have a lot of contacts back east and throughout the state of California, and I appreciate you. I have a dear friend who's a respiratory therapist, so I'll shout out to my friend Rosie. She's doing an incredible job, almost regularly working with COVID patients. Gollum is saying, how do your qualifications and work experience make you a good candidate for this job? Okay, that's an easy one. To be a travel nurse, you have to have achieved your RN, your registered nurse certificate, preferably a bachelor's, but there's still some grandfathering in for the 2-year degrees, and for the diploma degrees, there's still some grandfathering in. So you have to be from an accredited school, an RN from an accredited school, and you have to be licensed in the state that you're going to travel to. So say you're a nurse in Ohio and you're going to travel to Texas, you would need to apply for a temporary license in the state of Texas, which is easy enough to do, and which I wish a recruiter would come and tell us all about it, because recruiters can help you with that inside of 5 or 6 weeks. You can get that license that you need. And then work experience often is 1 to 2 years of experience. So, for example, if you've been a nurse for a year and a half or the last year and 9 months, and you're considering traveling, you could start the process now, because by the time you travel, say you want to travel in March, you will have completed the 2 years. So, so the work experience would be, they would not send you to the ER if you didn't have ER experience, emergency room. So you would have to have 2 years, 1 or 2 years, depending on what the client's looking for, in the area you're being sent to, whether that's an ICU, an ER, a long-term facility, an urgent care, a labor and delivery, etc. What makes you a good candidate is, what makes anybody a good candidate for a job is to be knowledgeable, pleasant, flexible, and this one I'll say twice, reliable. Reliable. Be reliable. Okay, so it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. If you have that desire to travel, very, very doable. And a good recruiter will answer your questions and partner with you to get to your travel assignment. So, and as we talked about today, are recruiters hiring? Oh, yes, indeed, they are. It's just, there's ongoing needs for travel nurses, for travel therapists, for travel techs, for travel practitioners, for travel doctors. The list goes on and on. So surgical techs, OR techs, big demand. Ultrasound techs, specialty ultrasound techs, maybe you do OBGYN, maybe you do other parts of the body. So big needs out there, and the qualifications are relatively simple. They would be the same, similar qualifications to go on staff in your position as a therapist, a tech, an RN, and MD. So thanks for that question, Gollum. Thank you so much. So I'm going to sign off with our little commercial because I enjoy it so much. I don't know if it's a real nurse. I'm sure it's an actress, but she is adorable. I will see you all Thursday between 2 and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And thank you for all that you do. And I hope I have answered some questions today for recruiters. Have you tried sponsoring with the Travel Nurse Channel? $27 a month. It's almost nothing for what you would get back in return, finding that ideal candidate. Thanks so much. Bye, Gollum.
Travel nursing can bring you to places you've never been before. Tell us your story.